Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I'm here with the final layout using my Hip Kit Club Hip Kit for September. This is the Project Life kit. I did not get the scrapbook kit. I may go back and get that and do that another month whenever I am kind of done with this cycle of kit reviews. I might go back and do the kits that I did not purchase, but I'm just kind of laying out everything that I have with the kit, trying to figure out what I'm going to do for this spread. I wasn't sure what photos I was going to use, so I kind of go back and I pulled them out and I have them sitting next to me so I can kind of see how many photos and things I'm going to have. I also have this pile of die cuts, which I'm not really going to flip through. I just have them sitting there. So this is where I've pulled out the photos. I'm pulling out this set of photos, and these photos were actually from the week that we went to the beach last year in 2015. So these were from the very 1st of October of 2015. So I'm going to end up using that title card, the September 2016, and just cover up the September 2016. I really liked the slight ombre stripe pattern that's in the background, but obviously I can't use September 2016 because I don't have those photos printed yet. And then I also had a ton of cards left that were vertical, so I'm going to use those in different ways here. I love this card that said the sweetest things with a heart, so I'm going to end up using that in a little bit differently than how I normally use them. But I end up settling on this one 3x4 card that says you are my greatest adventure. And I'm going to layer it up there with that October 2015 little strip from the LE Studio card that I'm using. So I have this photo of my mom and I. This was a 4x6 photo, but I tried printing it 3x4, but it was just too small. Like you couldn't really see us because it's taken a little bit further back. So I ended up just cropping it down to fit on this 4x6 pocket. And since I don't have any more 4x6 cards, I am taking out this planner page from a Cocoa Daisy planner kit that I got back. I really want to say it was July of 2016 this year. I had purchased, I think it was the very first planner pages I had gotten from them. And it just had this really cool wave on one of the backs of the pages that I didn't use. So if I don't use some of the pages, I take them out and I put them in my scrap bin to use them because they have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful drawings or pictures on them. They're just really pretty, and so I am still going to use those. Some of them have grid lines on them. I use the Cocoa Daisy planner kit or planner pages, the A5 size, and I use them for my monthly planner as well as I use them for my memory planner. There's like 3 different styles within that same set of planner pages, so there's a lot of versatility of what you could use. And if for some reason I don't use the page, then I keep it and I use it in my scrapbooking, and it's like the thing that keeps on giving, like you can just use it in so many ways. It is so well worth the cost, and the cost of that kit is like $12. I think that's all I pay once it's shipped, and so I definitely get my use out of that. Now it doesn't come with any embellishments. They do have a planner kit, but what I purchased doesn't, so I just keep the pages and I use them for projects like this. Can you tell I love it? Like, I didn't even mean to go into that deep of a discussion about it, but it's just an awesome little planner thing. So I'm trying out a couple different die cuts up here to figure out what can kind of cover up that little bit of September that's sticking out. So I settle on this like mason jar of flowers. It's so cute. I've really gotten into kind of using some more of the die cuts a little bit differently. Like that doesn't match this theme at all. Like it doesn't clash with it, but it doesn't really match the theme of the photos here. This was us going on our beach trip. And I'm going to use a lot of enamel dots on this spread just because they're so pretty and they match the card so well. So I wanted to make sure that I made good use of those. So my title card is done. I just think it's so cute and bright and airy. Like it's just so pretty. And then now I'm going to work on some of the other cards. And I'm going to create this thing that just says Crazy Waves. And that's the reason why I had picked out that wave piece to go on the back of, like at the background. Because we were at the beach last year during a hurricane, kind of like how Hurricane Matthew was this year. But we were at the beach when it actually hit us at the beach. So we still stayed down there because we're kind of crazy like that as well. We weren't in any imminent danger. It was just flooding and stuff like that, but it wasn't exactly where we were. It was just down the street from where we were. So this is just a picture of us. Our beach house was probably about 2 blocks from the water. So we would walk down to the water, but it was actually a really good thing that we were not right on the water, because right on the water flooded, but we were far enough back that it rained really hard, but it would drain pretty well as well. So this is one of those days where it would rain off and on the entire time we were there. And this was kind of one of those days where it wasn't really rainy, but the waves were crazy, and you can kind of see in the background how bad they were. And it looks like we probably got a good amount of sand behind us, probably about 20 feet of sand. But we had to take this picture in between the waves because they were coming up and going over the dunes. So we would run out, pose, take a picture, and run back. And I cut off our feet, but you can see all the froth from where the water had hit us up on our feet. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. So I had to put the caption of crazy waves down there. I'm just kind of measuring out my little pockets in the middle, as I always do. I measure them to a Project Life branded card, so I have the exact same size regardless of what kit or papers or whatever I'm using in these middle pockets. I always trim them down to be the exact same size as a Project Life card, just because I don't like the papers poking out on the opposite side. For that same reason, I keep my 3x4 pockets with the rounded corners, and then my 4x6 pockets have the squared corners. It's just, I just like consistency. It doesn't have to match, but I like the same consistent style. So I really like this one card. It has a Polaroid on it, and it says, "You've got this." And I don't have a photo to put here, so I decided just to embellish this. So I'm using one of my little strips of paper that were cut off of another page. It's just white with little black specks on it. And then I'm going to layer the ampersand right over that. You'll be able to see that in my still photos at the end. I'm just using some glue dots because it's not going to lay perfectly flat, because it's going to be on the top of that little strip of paper. And these cards are very nice quality. They're not, they're definitely thicker than like a Project Life card. They're not like chipboard. I'm not going to say that by any means, but they're a really nice heavyweight cardstock, which I like having cards like that, because once you embellish it, sometimes you need it to be sturdy so you can like slide it into the pocket. You need it to be able to hold up to all the stuff you're sticking on top of it. I'm doing my normal where I kind of work around the page. That's like my normal thing. And I'm doing the same thing up here. I'm using some of these puffy stickers, and it's going to say "On Our Way," because this was our trip down to the beach. We're all in the car. We're wearing our jackets because the weather was crazy, as I mentioned. Excuse me. If you're not familiar, October is definitely when we get some of our worst hurricanes. Now, hurricane season starts... Does it start in August? Is that when it starts? The end of July? I don't know exactly when hurricane season starts, but we tend to, it seems like in my area, I'm in North Carolina, it seems like in my area, we get hit by more hurricanes in October than we do any other month. And the same has been true this year because Hurricane Matthew came through. And actually, funny enough, I'm filming this at the end of Hurricane Matthew. This is not going to go up for a little while because of the way all my videos are posting, but this video is actually being filmed during Hurricane Matthew, so we're actually still in the midst of it. I hope everybody was fine, and if you had any damage, I hope you were able to get it fixed, especially by the time this video goes live. So it's definitely thinking about everybody because I have family in Florida, so I hope everybody was safe, that's for sure. Okay, so I had a dilemma on this page, and this was this card with these, not flowers, feathers. I don't really like feathers. I just feel like they're a weird embellishment. I think they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I think they're really cute. But what do you do with feathers? I don't have birds. I don't know. I'm one of those, I'm not really a literal scrapbooker, but I'm also kind of like, what the heck? What do I put feathers on? I don't know. I have issues with feathers. I just don't know what to do with them. I think they're pretty. I just don't know what to do with them. So I'm going to kind of cover this card up. I liked the colors, of course, but I'm going to put an embellishment right here in the middle, and then I'm going to put like a clip and a paper clip on there as well from the die cut pack. So kind of covering it up a bit. Just because I don't know what to do with the feathers. The darn feathers. I don't know what to do with them. So what I did is I took out that same, and you can kind of see I had a pile of these papers over here to the side. These are those planner pages. I'm just kind of keeping them. They are handy, so I use them. But I just kept layering it up because I wanted to make my little block a little bit bigger to cover up more of the feathers. And it just says, there was a quote on one of the pages, and it said, "Wherever you go, go with all your heart." And I just thought that was kind of fitting for us going down to the beach, and we were really enjoying ourselves. So, and I'm just using a few of the little die cuts to embellish this card. I was really having fun with these die cuts. I could totally decorate a whole page with die cuts and nothing else, especially if it's a really good pack. I'm just kind of flipping through, and this is what I do. I seem to be doing this on every page. I just kind of go through my little pile of embellishments and embellish where I can. And that's the same thing. I pulled out those 2 little flowers, and I'm going to put them on this card, and then I have that everyday banner. So I cut up the other card, kind of put it a little bit askew on here because I wanted to get as much of that heart on there as possible. And it says the sweetest things, and then I'm going to layer the banner over it. This is every day. And then I have the 2 little flowers that are going to kind of fall off the edges. This layout is definitely coming to an end. I'm going to do all of my journaling on that bottom card that says "What a Week." And I'm going to embellish a little bit on the card with Kaylin on it. He's looking around, looking up to me while we were in the car driving. I think the picture of us at the beach was done on the very first day as well, because we were walking down to the beach to see how the waves were and what the damage was, if there was any damage. And I'll go ahead and read you my journaling while you watch me finish up the embellishments here. Just doing some final touches. It says, "What a week. The first week of October, we went to the beach with the Wagstaff family." That's my side of the family. "This was Kaylin's first time at the beach, and it was quite eventful. A few days before the trip, we found out a massive hurricane was coming through and would be right where we were staying. Needless to say, there was tons of flooding, raining, and wind. Most stores were closed, and there wasn't much going on, but we had some fun. We had so much fun playing in the rain, looking for shells, and just enjoying ourselves." So we did a lot of like games and walking around. It was pouring rain at a certain point, and we would walk down to the beach, and then there was like nobody in the neighborhood, and so we would hang out under the houses until it would stop raining enough for us to run a little bit further down the street. It was just kind of fun. Like, we really enjoyed ourselves. It's definitely a memorable trip. And for the longest time, Kaylin thought it just rained at the beach. Like, until we went this year, he didn't quite understand that it didn't rain at the beach, because the entire time we were there, it rained. So it was really a fun vacation, different. Not your normal like summer beach trip by any means, but I love going to the beach in October. I just think it's so much fun. This year we went at the beginning of September, which was still very nice. But anyways, I'll have those pictures to scrapbook as well here soon. I'm just building a very small embellishment cluster at the bottom of this photo with Kaylin, and I'm going to add some enamel dots, and I'll be done with that, and then I'll just add my journaling, and I'll be completely finished. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this kit review series this year. I have had such a ball playing with all the different kits and trying out everything. I definitely have some of my favorites. There's some that I feel like I want to subscribe to every month, but I'm going to kind of do a recap at the end of the year and give my thoughts. But let me know if you guys have any kits that you'd like to see me review, and also leave me any comments you want to. I love reading them. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, and I'll chat with y'all later. Bye.